Now welcome to a review of the third episode of The Penguin on HBO Max, where we will once again send it over to you for your opening thoughts on this episode.
Penguin continues to impress. This episode focused a lot on Victor.
Yep.
We got Victor's backstory, his emotions, what's going on in Victor's life, who was the mysterious person who texted him.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that they decided to take a beat here to, we're going to continue Penguin's story. We still know what's going on with Penguin.
Yeah, it progressed, yeah.
But we get to see where Victor comes from. He's not just some random street kid. He had a life. He had a family who loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the Victor episode for sure. Which was good because it also strengthened his relationship with Penguin.
It did.
Because you now understand it, where before you were kind of like, does Penguin really care about this kid? Or is he kind of using him? Does he just kind of see something in him? And then to jump to the end, I suppose, Victor's going to leave or was thinking about leaving. Penguin sees the phone and he's kind of mad, like, did you think I was keeping you here?
Right. You're only staying with me because you feel like I'm threatening you?
Yeah.
Like Penguin thought that they moved beyond that point in the relationship.
Yeah,
they
thought they were friends. He thought he was somebody he could kind of trust and talk to, and that's something he needs.
He was nurturing him almost like a son.
Kinda. And that's basically what the relationship was very much like, a father-son, where it's someone you can trust, someone you can confide in. It's it's something he doesn't have because everybody else in his life is
right.
Can potentially double-cross him or whatever it might be.
Wonderful that Victor picked up on that, because when his girlfriend, who I can't remember the name, but I think it was like Graciela.
I think it was Graciela, yeah.
Yeah. When she inquired about the boss, he even told her he's a lonely guy. He's a lonely man.
He is.
And it was good that Victor picked up on that.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, that's what made it good, is because he understands, like, he thought Penguin, again, just kind of wanted someone to have there, and he did, but not like forcibly. Penguin doesn't want him to be there because he doesn't want to be there, but feels like he's being threatened, like we were just talking about. He wants somebody to actually be his friend. It's interesting because the Victor story adds another dimension to the Penguin. Again, it is fantastic writing.
What's crazy, if you think about it this way too, and I'm changing the topic slightly here, I should warn you because I do that a lot, but
yes, she does.
In the Batman movie, one of the weaker points that everyone complained about is that third act. All the seawalls blew up and this is what happened. Watching Penguin now, that third act has a whole new power to it. Watching Victor trying to call his family as the seawall is rushing towards where his family is. Seeing the real devastation, the chaos that was unleashed by the Riddler's act of violence.
Yeah, because you don't really see it so much in the Batman. You kind of see, the whole arena scene and there's flooding, but you don't really see like a tidal wave taking out part of the city, which is what we saw here. It's a whole different perspective, whole different angle. Brings whole new different meaning to just what happened there.
Honestly, if they could have included some of those scenes in the Batman, I think that would have been a much more powerful third act. Yeah,
because you just, like I said, you kind of see the arena, you see the water, but it doesn't seem like devastating like that. And that looked like a tidal wave was just coming in.
No, because all you're thinking of, he's trying to take out Bella Real. You don't really see the whole, look at what he's doing to all of these people, because he's trying to wake them up to his crazed way of thinking, his fanatical way of thinking. So I just loved the addition of taking the time to really examine from like one person's point of view, what did this do to Gotham? What did this do to people? It was kind of profound.
No, it was a good way to use that third act, which, at least myself, and I think you weren't really a fan of. I thought it got really kind of, and I know this is a stupid thing to say about a comic book movie, essentially, but it got very comic booky there in the third. It did. It got very over the top there in that third act, where you need that big crazy thing to happen. And I was like, this is more of a grounded kind of story with Batman, and I really like that. And
then the second and third watch through of the Batman, it's better because you can really see the breadcrumbs that Riddler laid out to how it's all going to go.
I think it was more just the first time I saw it. It was kind of like a shock, because you really feel like the movie is about over. Like you're literally in the last 5 minutes here at most. And then it's like, nope, we got explosions, and we got this big masterful plan, and he's going to wipe out Gotham. And you're like, well, what? What happened here?
Exactly. What do you think about Sophie's drug, Bliss?
It seems underwhelming. in a weird sort of way.
If it does more than she's letting on.
I guess that's what I mean by underwhelming. I'm like, okay, like it's a hallucinogenic, essentially, a psychedelic.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like even Penguin, or not Penguin, the Triad guy, I think said,
Yes.
It's basically a party drug. I think actually Penguin said that initially. He was kind of like, so you got your party drug here, a big deal.
But when she had to go in there and sell what this drug means for the city of Gotham, I was like, oh my God, she's right. We just got to see all the scenes through Victor of the traumatic nature of the attack that happened against them, the breaking of the seawall, and what it did to people. And then she's like, look at these people. This is what they need.
Yeah,
they need something so they can escape. They don't have to think about their emotions. They can just bask in the bliss.
Yeah. I do think there's more to it, though. There's going to be some, whether it's side effects or what it is.
There's a reason that Arkham is
using it. Yeah. There has to be more to it. Because like I said, it was like, oh, it's
Does it
mushrooms.
Open them to suggestion of some sort?
Yeah, you never know. Because, I mean, there is it is a comic book show, so you may have that kind of, just like the Batman did, where you had all of a sudden, like, oh, you have this kind of more not strange element, but the over-the-top element. You do wonder if they will go maybe something over the top here a little bit with it. I don't know, because it's like fungus growing on a mushroom. I'm not exactly sure what it was.
Growing. It's like a spore that develops on the mushrooms.
Yeah, essentially kind of the same thing. But you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, it's not mushrooms, it's something that grows on the mushrooms.
And then there was that impactful ending. Impactful because people got hit by a car.
Pun intended, yes. You know was so good about that? Like, you're so conflicted. There's this part of you like Victor, which is, as I talked about after episode 1, why I think the show works, is because you like Victor. You want him to survive. You want him to have a better life. And so there's that part of you. It's like, go with, Graciela, live a new life in Los Angeles.
Get out of here, yeah.
Yeah, but then there's that part of you like, maybe go with Penguin. And then
Penguin needs you.
Yeah, like,
but
it's
Penguin's
working.
Still a bad guy.
Penguin seems like he's a better person because of you. And yes, he's still definitely a bad guy. And yet at the same time, you're also, despite Penguin being a bad guy and selling drugs and doing all these horrible things, you're like, here he is in this very tricky situation, and you're like, please come back and save him, because I don't want to see Penguin die, even though he's the villain.
I love the way the show really challenges your morals and your viewpoints.
It does, yeah.
But because you know what? Yeah, is Victor doing the right thing? I mean, he doesn't know if his dad would be proud of him.
I don't think his dad would be. I mean, yeah, his dad wouldn't be proud of him for what he's doing.
But then I think back to the story. Penguin's told us in episode 1, the mob boss that ran his old neighborhood was good to people.
That's true.
He did horrible things, most likely. I mean, he was still a mob boss for a reason.
Yeah.
But he cared about his community. So if this is the type of mob boss that Penguin, wants to turn into, it might be good for Gotham? I don't even know. The show challenges you so much to think he's a good guy, but he's not a good guy. He's in charge of all these drugs, and drugs are bad.
Well, as he even points out, and like it, how this show is kind of the opposite of Star Wars, because Star Wars is like, we have good people, we have bad people. Like, Penguin is basically saying in this episode, even to Victor, like, there aren't like good and bad people. This is just reality. This is how life is. And in his own weird way, as you're kind of saying, he is trying to make that life better for people.
Well, he wants Victor I want you to live a better life. I don't want you to live in the gutter in the slums ripping off cars. I can make you a lot of money. You can live a good life.
Yeah, and
but
mean,
to
obviously,
get that, you're doing
really bad things. Yeah, obviously, he's not in the right by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not in any way defending him, but again, why the show works is you see his point of view and you root for Victor, even though you kind of want him with Penguin. It's some brilliant, it's brilliant writing. Good. It's very good.
I'm curious to see where they're going to go next week. We left off at that crazy cliffhanger with, we just had Penguin Oz ran off and left Sophia to die.
Yeah, that was, you cringe when he's like, you just, here you thought like these two are kind of getting on the same page, and then it's like, nah, just leave her.
Yeah, what about leave her. Let's get out of here. I'm like, ooh, if she's not dead, you're going to wish she was, because she saw your girls too, Oz.
Yeah.
She saw Eve.
Yeah.
You don't think she'll go after her? Because she was arrested for, like, serial killer against women.
Yeah.
I think that puts his lady friend in a very bad position. If she's mad at Penguin, she will go after things he cares about.
Yeah, but that's another reason why the show is great. Everything keeps getting more and more complicated. The wheels keep turning, and everything just keeps getting bigger. But not in a way where you're, like, lost and confused, where they need, like, 12 different storylines. It's really focused on Penguin, and yet there are all these other things going on around him. which are interesting. And again, I'm amazed by the show. I thought it was going to be like maybe okay.
I'm
and
not
here
a
I
huge
am
fan
like,
of gangster stuff, but
no,
I find
I generally
this
am not
incredibly
either.
interesting because it's such a well-written character piece on these main characters.
Yeah, I generally, the whole mob boss thing. It's like, yeah, I get why people love it and
But
find
you're
it
like,
interesting.
forget about it.
Kinda, yeah. But anyway, I think that is going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this 3rd episode of The Penguin, and let's talk some Penguin. And until next time, thanks for watching.